Daily Driven 69 back at it again with another video with a very poor uploading schedule. Today we're stripping the frame and re-undercoating it because the frame's very chipped and somewhat rusted. So if you come over here, what we're doing is you got the excursion here. It's all rusted down here. I'll grab the camera. I'll show you. Show you guys. So under here, can you see it? So you can see it's like light rust. The paint's starting to chip off. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna like wire brush it, sand it off, clean it, and then give it some a respray so it looks all black again. So over here we have done it already. The paint's just drying right now. It's matte black. So we did all the steps necessary. So that's just drying, and then this one we did last week. This is what the final product looks like. There we go, right there. So very clean. It's a very hard finish. We use I'll show you the products we use. We use just Rust-Oleum. Get it from any hardware store. So here we go. What you guys are gonna need. Obviously you got your assortment of wire brushes. Got the one on the drill, makes it real easy. And then you got the flat disc. And then I got a bunch of normal wire brushes too. Different sizes for different areas. I use this one the most because it's small. And then a sanding brick to sand it after you scrape off most of the surface rust. A scraper to help with all the paint that's just kind of stuck on there and you want to chip off. And then some all-purpose cleaner, just like soap and water to clean the frame after you scrape all the surface rust off. Clean it off so you get a clean surface. And then what we're using, since the frame isn't too rusty and we can get most of the surface rust off with the wire brush and everything, we're using clean metal primer from Rust-Oleum. It stops rust. You can use it on painted, bare, or light rusted metal. So that's pretty light rust, so that's what we're choosing to use because we could get most of that scaly surface rust off. You got a lot of like scaly surface rust that you can't really get off after the wire brush and everything. They have a heavy metal primer, which is brown instead of white, but you could spray it over heavy rust, no problem. And then for top coat, we got this bottle's dirty, but it's the Rust-Oleum Stops Rust Flat Protective Enamel. It's flat black. If you want gloss black, they got the high performance enamel. Anything's pretty good. You just want something that stops rust and an enamel. That'll make it a really hard finish. So right now, we're just going to get started on the other side. So we got our main tools over here: scraper, drill, wire brush, all this. Sorry if you can't hear me. I got the respirator on. I don't want to get rust in my mouth, same as the glasses. And this will be good for painting too. So at least get a dust mask or something. You don't want to be breathing in rust. It doesn't taste that good. So we're gonna get under here. What we're gonna do, obviously, is I'll kind of just sample it right now. These wire brushes will take off a lot of stuff. So as you can see right here, I got my little drill brush. You just lightly just see, most of that surface rust is coming off, as you can see right there. Obviously, you want to go a little harder into it. I can't really do it right now because I only got one hand. But we'll go over it with the drill brush first, as all the areas we could get, just like that. Get all the main stuff off, and then we'll come back when we go get into the tight space with the hand brush. Okay, so as you guys can see, we wire brush the frame, and if you got a little brown, it's okay. It's just surface rust. As you can see, we ground this one down all the way to metal. If you really want to take the time grinding all the way down the middle, it's going to take a long ass time. So if you really want to do it, you can. But with this clean metal primer, we're going to be able to cover this little tiny brown surface rust. And it'll stop it's an encapsulator, so it's going to stop the spread of the rust. So it's okay if you leave a little bit of rust. If you still have a ton of this stuff and it's still like flaky and scaly and you can't get it off, you're going to want the heavy metal primer like I said. But yeah, we got this mostly scraped off, so we're going to, wire brushed off, so we're going to get the scraper. And we're just going to go along
scrape the rest of it off if we can. Just scrape the big scales off if we find any that we couldn't get in the first place. So we're going to do that. Keep going all the way down the frame. We're going all the way down to like the middle, almost to the axle, because we did the set from between the wheels we did, and then behind the wheels, and then once we have the wheels off, whenever we change the wheels and tires, I'm going to do the frame next to the tires. But for now, we're just doing this. So we just got this little back portion. So we're just going to scrape, keep scraping all the way down just to get the rest of the flaky stuff off we can. And then we'll get back to you guys when we're done with that, when we can start sanding. Okay, so we got it mostly scraped off. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sand it. So we got a little sanding block here. We chose 80 grit. You want something pretty rough so the paint can grab onto. So we're just going to get it all sanded up. Sand all the way down. Good. So, just sand everything up. Get it all rough. Watch out for wires. Also, we're going to be taping up before we paint, so just get this sanded down and we'll move on to cleaning. Okay, so now, I'm going to clean it up. After we sanded it, get all the stuff off. Simple green or any, just soap and water. Anything will work. Just get it cleaned up. See, you want to get all that stuff off before you paint. Pretty good. Get all in there. To get all the crap off of it, it's still not going to change color, but you just want to make sure you get all the filings and everything off. So we let this dry from the simple green. We warmed up the frame a little bit because it's a little cold out here. It's like 50 degrees. That's like the lower limit of what you want to paint on. So we just took a heat gun to the frame a little bit, warmed it up a bit, and then we left the paint inside while we were doing that, so it warmed up a bit. So shake your paint up real good. It's going to be the first coat of primer. So let's get to it. Alright, so we got 3 coats of primer on. Let it dry for a few minutes. With this primer, you either want to coat it within the first hour, or you have to wait 48 hours to recoat it. So if you're going to recoat it, I recommend doing it in the first hour. So that's what we're doing. We waited about 10 minutes for this to dry. And we're going to top it off with flat black protective enamel right now.